The first thing I heard was metal tearing. Not seeing. Hearing. A deep, grinding crunch rolled through the morning air. Low, wrong. Like something breaking. That shouldn't be touched. I stepped out onto my driveway. Boots hit cold concrete. And there it was. A full-size bulldozer. Bright yellow. Engine rumbling. Blade already pressed against my garage wall. Dust hung in the sunlight. Like smoke. No warning. No notice. Just impact. The corner of my garage buckled inward. Sharp crack. 6 months of work. Gone in seconds. That's when I saw her. Linda Whitmore. 10 feet away. Perfectly still. Clipboard tucked under her arm. Like it belonged there. White blouse. Sunglasses. That same tight smile. From every HOA meeting. Unapproved structure, she said. Loud enough for everyone to hear. Across the street. Curtains shifted. Phones lifted. Someone whispered. Linda didn't even look at me. Like I wasn't part of this. Like I didn't matter. The engine revved again. The blade pushed forward. Another inch. Wood splintered. The smell of fresh timber and hot oil filled the air. And something about it felt off. Too fast. Too clean. Too confident. Like this wasn't enforcement. This was planned. I took a step closer. You're making a mistake, I said. Calm. Even. She turned. Slow. Deliberate. We've reviewed everything, she replied, tapping her clipboard. No permits. No approvals. A beat. This ends today. That word, ends, made a few people flinch. Not me. I looked past her. 2 men in reflective vests. Silent. One avoided eye contact. The other kept checking his phone. Like he didn't want to be here. That mattered. That didn't fit. Because I knew my permits. I knew who signed them. And I knew. No one in this county greenlights a demolition like this. Without layers of paperwork. But Linda didn't hesitate. Which meant one thing. She thought she was untouchable. Or worse. She thought I was nothing. The blade pressed deeper. Another crack. Louder this time. Part of the frame gave way. I felt it in my chest. Not anger. Not yet. Pressure. Building. Steady. I checked my watch. 7:14 a.m. Right on schedule. Linda saw it. Her smile shifted. Just slightly. Timing something? She asked. I didn't answer. I reached into my pocket. Pulled out my phone. No rush. No panic. Just one number. The line rang. Once. Twice. Then. Connected. I turned slightly. Lowered my voice. It's happening. That's all I said. I hung up. Behind me. Someone muttered. Confused. Linda's smile tightened. She glanced at the operators. Then back at me. For the first time. She hesitated. Just a second. The engine idled. Waiting. So did I. And then. From somewhere down the street. I heard it. Not construction. Not traffic. Something heavier. Deeper. Approaching fast. And it definitely wasn't part of her plan. The siren grew louder, cutting through the idle rumble of the bulldozer like it did not belong here. Not HOA security. Not some local patrol doing a courtesy check. This was sharper. Official. Linda heard it too. Her head turned just slightly, like she was trying not to react too fast. The operator shifted in his seat. His hand hovered over the controls but did not move. That hesitation told me everything. Something had already gone off script. The morning air felt tighter now. Even the neighbors stopped whispering. Everyone was listening. Waiting. The sound bounced off the houses, getting closer then slowed. Not speeding through. Approaching. That detail mattered. Linda straightened her posture and adjusted her clipboard, forcing that same polished expression back into place. "Do not stop," she called out to the operator without looking at him. Her voice was steady, but it carried a sharp edge now. The engine revved again, but weaker this time, like the man behind it was second-guessing every move. The blade pressed forward just a fraction. Wood creaked. Then stopped. He did not push further. I watched Linda carefully. She was not used to resistance. Not from machines. Not from people. A black county vehicle rolled into view at the end of the street. Clean. Unmarked except for a small seal on the door. It did not rush. It parked. That alone shifted the energy. No lights flashing. No chaos. Just presence. 2 men stepped out. Both in plain jackets. No hurry in their steps. That kind of calm only comes from authority that does not need to prove itself. One of them scanned the scene once. The garage. The bulldozer. Linda. Then me. His eyes paused for half a second longer than normal. Recognition. Linda stepped forward immediately, intercepting them before they got too close. "Good, you are here," she said, voice bright again, almost relieved. "We have an illegal structure being removed under HOA authority." She spoke fast. Too fast. Like she needed to control the narrative before it slipped. The taller man did not respond right away. He looked past her. Straight at the damage. Then at the machine. Then back at her clipboard. "Who authorized this demolition?" he asked. Simple question. Flat tone. Linda did not hesitate. "The Homeowners Association Board approved it unanimously." She tapped the paper again. "All documentation is right here." The man did not take it. That was the first crack. A small one. Easy to miss if you were not looking. I took a slow breath. The smell of dust was still in the air, but something else was creeping in now. Uncertainty. It spreads fast when control starts to slip. The second man walked around the side of the garage, inspecting the structure that was still standing. He ran his hand along the frame, then stepped back, looking at the foundation. He did not say anything. That silence said enough. Linda shifted her weight. Just slightly. Her confidence was still there, but it was thinner now. Stretched. "As I was saying," she continued, trying to pull it back. "This has been a long-standing violation. We are simply enforcing community standards." The taller man finally looked at her again. This time, his expression changed. Not much. Just enough. "Community standards do not authorize demolition without county clearance." The words landed quiet, but heavy. Linda blinked once. Then again. A pause she could not hide. Around us, the street went still. No phones moving now. No whispers. Just waiting. I checked my watch again. 7:18 a.m. Right on time. Linda followed the motion this time. She noticed it. Really noticed it. Her eyes narrowed just a fraction. Like she was starting to see something she did not expect. And then she asked the one question she should not have asked. "What exactly did you just do?" Linda asked, and this time her voice lost that polished edge. It came out tighter. Controlled, but strained. The taller man did not answer her right away. He kept his eyes on me for a second longer, then shifted back to the garage. The damaged corner. The fresh brake lines. The bulldozer still idling like it was waiting for permission that was not coming. "We are trying to understand that," he said calmly. Linda let out a small breath, almost a laugh, like she thought she could still steer this. "It is simple," she said, stepping closer, lowering her voice just enough to sound reasonable. "This homeowner constructed an unapproved structure. We followed procedure. Notices were sent. Violations ignored. This is enforcement." She held the clipboard out again. Still not taken. That detail stayed in the air. The second man walked back from the side of the garage, brushing dust off his hand. He leaned slightly toward his partner, and said something under his breath. I could not hear the words, but I saw the reaction. A small nod. A shift in posture. Something had just been confirmed. Linda noticed that too. Her grip tightened on the clipboard. The paper edges bent slightly under her fingers. If there is an issue, she added quickly, we can resolve it with the board. But this demolition is already in progress. She turned halfway toward the operator. Continue. The word hung there. The operator did not move. He looked at the two men. Then at me. Then back at Linda. His foot stayed off the control. That hesitation spread like a crack through glass. The taller man finally stepped forward, just enough to place himself between Linda and the machine. Not aggressive. Not forceful. Just present. This stops here, he said. Simple. Final. The engine dropped to idle again. Linda blinked, slower this time. You cannot just halt a lawful enforcement, she replied, and now there was a hint of sharpness slipping through. We have authority within this community. The man nodded once. Within your bylaws, he said. Not over county jurisdiction. The word jurisdiction landed differently. Heavier. The neighbors shifted again. A few lowered their phones. Others leaned in. Linda straightened her shoulders. And what jurisdiction are you claiming? She asked, her tone sharpening, pushing back harder now. The second man reached into his jacket and pulled out a small folder. He flipped it open but did not show it yet. Just held it. Waiting. That pause stretched longer than it should have. Linda's eyes flicked to it. Then back to his face. Something in her expression changed. Not fear. Not yet. But calculation. Fast. Careful. She turned toward me again, like she was reassessing the situation from a different angle. Really looking this time. Not past me. Not through me. At me. The dust in the air was starting to settle. Sunlight cut through it in thin lines. The broken edge of my garage cast a sharp shadow across the driveway. Everything felt quieter now. Too quiet for what had just happened. The taller man finally spoke again. Before anything else continues, he said, we need to verify the approval status of this structure. Linda opened her mouth to respond, but stopped. Just for a second. Then she turned fully toward me. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Not angry. Not confident. Curious. Suspicious. Like a piece had moved on the board that she did not expect. Who exactly signed off on your permits? She asked, and this time, she did not look away. For a second, nobody moved. Even the engine sounded quieter, like it was listening. I let the silence sit there. Linda was still staring at me, waiting. Expecting hesitation. Expecting excuses. I gave her neither. County zoning approved it, I said. Simple. Flat. Her lips pressed together. Not convinced. That is not possible, she replied almost instantly. Too fast. Like she needed that to be true. The taller man shifted his weight slightly, watching her now instead of me. The second man opened the folder just enough to glance inside, then closed it again. Still not showing anything. Still waiting. Linda stepped closer, heels clicking sharp against the driveway. We checked county records, she said, voice rising just a fraction. There is no active permit tied to this structure. She tapped her clipboard again, harder this time. The sound echoed. More than it should have. I could feel the neighbors leaning in. Something was off. They could sense it too. I reached into my pocket slowly and pulled out my phone again. Not to call. Just to scroll. A few taps. Then I turned the screen toward her. You checked the wrong file, I said. She hesitated before looking. That hesitation was new. She glanced down. Her eyes moved across the screen. One line. Then another. The shift was small, but it was there. Her shoulders tightened. This is not finalized documentation, she said, but her voice had changed. Less certain. The second man took one step closer, just enough to see the screen without asking. His expression did not change, but his attention sharpened. That mattered. Linda noticed him looking. She pulled her gaze away from my phone and straightened again. Even if there was a submission, she continued, trying to regain ground, it would not override HOA compliance standards. The taller man exhaled slowly. Not frustration. More like confirmation. That depends, he said. Linda turned to him quickly. Depends on what? She asked. He did not answer right away. Instead, he looked back at me. Direct. Measured. Like he was giving me a choice. Speak now. Or let this continue. The air felt heavier. The dust had fully settled. The broken edge of the garage was clear now. Clean lines where the structure had been intact just minutes ago. Linda followed his gaze back to me. That is when it clicked for her. Not fully. Not yet. But enough. Her eyes narrowed again, slower this time. Careful. Who are you really coordinating with? She asked. The question came out quieter than before. Not for the crowd anymore. For me. The operator shifted in his seat again. Still not moving. Still waiting. The second man finally opened the folder wider. Just enough this time. A corner of an official seal caught the sunlight. Linda saw it. Her focus snapped to it instantly. Something inside her calculation changed. Fast. She took a small step back without realizing it. The first step she had taken away from control since this started. I slipped my phone back into my pocket. No rush. No need to prove anything yet. The taller man spoke. Again, his tone steady, almost neutral. We should verify the signature authority on that approval, he said. Linda swallowed. Subtle. Almost invisible. But it was there. She looked back at me one more time. Not dismissing me anymore. Not overlooking me. Studying me. Trying to place me. Trying to understand what she had just stepped into. And for the first time, she did not sound sure when she spoke. And whose signature are we verifying? The question hung in the air longer than it should have. Even the breeze seemed to stop. I looked at Linda for a second, then at the two men beside her. Either of them moved. Either of them spoke. That silence was not confusion. It was permission. I stepped forward, just one pace, enough to close the distance without raising my voice. Mine, I said. No emphasis. No build-up. Just the word. Linda blinked. Once. Then again, slower. That is not how this works, she replied, but the edge in her voice was gone. It sounded thinner now. The taller man turned his head slightly toward her. Not correcting her. Just watching. The second man finally opened the folder fully. This time, he held it out. Not to Linda. To me. I did not take it. I did not need to. I already knew what was inside. He flipped one page forward so it faced outward. The county seal caught the light again, clearer this time. Bold. Official. Linda leaned in before she realized she was doing it. Her eyes scanned the page quickly. Too quickly. Then slower. Much slower. Her lips parted, but no words came out. That was the first real break. The kind you cannot cover with confidence. The operator shifted again, this time pulling his hands completely away from the controls. The engine idled low, almost quiet now. Waiting for direction that was not coming from her anymore. This approval, the taller man said calmly, was signed and logged under county authority. He paused, just long enough. With full jurisdiction. Linda straightened, but it looked forced now. Like she was holding something up that had already started to fall. There must be a mistake, she said, and now she sounded like she needed someone else to confirm that. Anyone. The second man glanced at me. Again. A small nod. Subtle. Respectful. That was new too. The neighbors noticed that one. You could feel it shift across the street. Phones lowering. People exchanging looks. The story they thought they were watching was changing. Fast. I took another step forward. Not aggressive. Just present. You did not check the updated zoning file, I said. You checked the preliminary draft. Linda's eyes snapped back to me. That landed hard. That draft was replaced 3 weeks ago, I continued. Same project. Different classification. I let that sit for a second. Let it sink in. Protected build. The word echoed differently. Not loud, but heavy. The taller man folded his arms loosely, watching her reaction. Not intervening. Not helping. Just letting it unfold. Linda's grip on the clipboard loosened slightly. The paper inside shifted. One corner slipped out of alignment. She did not fix it. She did not even notice. Protected under what authority? She asked, but now it sounded like she was asking because she had to, not because she believed she had control. I held her gaze this time. Direct. Steady. No more distance. County zoning authority, I said. A small pause. Just enough. The same office that signs demolition clearance. The second man closed the folder slowly. Deliberate. Final. The sound of it clicking shut carried across the driveway. Linda did not look at him this time. She kept looking at me, trying to place something that had already shifted too far. The taller man finally spoke again. Which means, he said, this demolition was not just unauthorized. He paused. Let the weight build. Linda's breathing changed. Shallow now. Controlled, but not steady. The neighbors were completely silent. No movement. No sound. Waiting. The man finished the sentence calmly. It was a direct violation of county jurisdiction. Linda's shoulders dropped just a fraction. Enough to see. Enough to feel. And for the first time since that bulldozer touched my garage, she did not look like she was in charge anymore. She looked like she was trying to understand how she lost it. No one spoke for a few seconds after that. Not Linda. Not the neighbors. Not even the men beside her. The silence felt heavier than the engine noise from before. It pressed down on everything. Linda's eyes flicked once toward the damaged corner of the garage, then back to me. Like she was trying to rewind the last 5 minutes and find the exact point where it went wrong. She did not find it. This cannot override HOA enforcement, she said, but the words came slower now. Measured. Careful. Like she was choosing each one instead of throwing them out. The taller man tilted his head slightly. It already did, he replied. No emphasis. Just fact. That landed harder than anything loud could have. Linda exhaled sharp through her nose. Her grip tightened again on the clipboard, but this time her hand trembled just enough to notice. She turned quickly toward the operator. Power down the machine, she said. The command came fast, almost urgent. The operator did not hesitate this time. The engine cut. The sudden quiet rang in my ears. No vibration. No hum. Just stillness. Dust drifted slowly to the ground. The second man stepped closer to the bulldozer, running his eyes along the blade, then the damaged structure. He took a small notebook out of his jacket and began writing. Short strokes. Precise. That detail mattered more than anything said out loud. Documentation had started. Linda saw it too. Her posture shifted again. Less rigid now. Less certain. We can resolve this internally, she said, turning back toward the taller man. There is no need to escalate. The word escalate hung there, thin and fragile. The man did not respond right away. He watched the second man finish writing, then looked back at Linda. It is already escalated, he said. Calm. Final. Linda opened her mouth, then stopped. Closed it again. That hesitation stayed longer this time. The neighbors were no longer whispering. They were watching in silence now. Not watching her. Watching me. That shift was impossible to ignore. Linda felt it. You could see it in the way she adjusted her stance, like she was trying to regain ground that had already moved under her feet. "We were acting in good faith," she said, quieter now. Not to the crowd. Not even fully to the men. Almost to herself. I stepped forward again, stopping just short of where the broken edge of the garage cast its shadow. The sunlight hit the dust on the ground, making it look lighter than it was. "You skipped county clearance," I said. "You initiated demolition under HOA authority." Each word landed on its own. Clean. Separate. No rush. Linda did not interrupt. She could not. "That is not enforcement," I continued. "That is overreach." The second man closed his notebook and slid it back into his jacket. Another small sound. Another final detail. The taller man glanced once at the damaged structure, then back at Linda. "We will need your full documentation," he said. "Board approvals. Notices. Any communication related to this action." Linda nodded automatically, but her eyes were still on me. Still trying to understand. Still trying to place where she lost control. The breeze picked up slightly, moving a loose sheet on her clipboard. It fluttered, then settled crooked. She did not fix it. I could see the realization starting to form now. Slow. Reluctant. But unavoidable. This was not a disagreement. This was not a misunderstanding. This was something bigger. And she had already stepped too far into it. The taller man shifted his attention back to me, just for a moment. A brief look. Enough to confirm everything without saying it out loud. Then he turned back to Linda. "We will also need to confirm when this action was initiated," he added. Linda swallowed again, more visibly this time. Her voice, when it came, was lower than before. "This morning," she said. The man gave a small nod. That was all. But something about that nod made the air feel colder. Like a line had just been drawn somewhere none of them could see yet. And I could tell she felt it too. The word, "this morning," did not fade. It stayed there, heavy, like it carried more than just time. The taller man looked at his partner again. No words exchanged. Just a brief glance. Then a small nod. That was enough. The second man reached back into his jacket and pulled out a thin device, tapping the screen twice. A soft beep followed. Not loud, but sharp in the quiet. Linda's eyes dropped to it instantly. "What is that for?" she asked. And this time she did not try to hide the concern. The man did not look up. "Timestamp verification," he said. Simple. Clinical. He tapped again, then slid the device back into his pocket. That small action shifted something in the air. This was no longer about paperwork. This was record. Linda took a slow breath, but it did not steady her. "We can correct this," she said quickly. "If there was a miscommunication, we can reverse the action and handle it through proper channels." The word reverse sounded fragile. Like something already broken could just be put back without consequence. The taller man shook his head slightly. "The action already occurred," he said. "Partial demolition has been executed." He glanced toward the garage. "That cannot be undone." Linda followed his gaze. The broken edge caught the light again. Clean. Final. Real. She looked away faster this time. "Then we will compensate," she added, pushing forward, trying to regain ground. "The association has funds allocated for structural disputes." That word. Disputes? It did not fit anymore. Not here. Not now. I watched her carefully. The shift in her tone. The way she reached for solutions instead of control. That told me everything. She was no longer leading this. She was reacting. The second man spoke for the first time in a while. "Compensation is not the primary issue," he said. "Jurisdictional violation is." He let that sit for a second. "And procedural bypass." Linda's fingers tightened again around the clipboard, but now it looked like she was holding onto it instead of using it. "We acted based on available records," she said, quieter now. The taller man nodded once. Outdated records, he corrected. That word landed with precision. Outdated. Not wrong. Not misread. Outdated. Which meant the responsibility did not disappear. It shifted. Linda looked back at me again. Longer this time. Not searching. Not calculating. Understanding. Slowly. Reluctantly. The pieces were falling into place for her now. The timing. The call. The arrival. The documents. The silence. None of it was random. None of it was luck. The neighbors felt it too. The way the attention had fully moved. No one was looking at the clipboard anymore. No one was waiting for her to speak. They were watching me. Linda exhaled again, but this time it sounded heavier. What happens next? She asked. The question was direct. Honest for the first time. The taller man did not answer immediately. He looked at the garage again, then at the bulldozer, then back at Linda. We document everything, he said. We secure statements. He paused. And we review authority overreach. The phrase echoed differently. Not loud, but final. Linda's shoulders lowered slightly. Not collapsing, but no longer holding up the same weight. The second man stepped aside, giving a clearer view of the damaged structure. Sunlight filled the space where the wall had been intact minutes ago. Open. Exposed. There was no hiding it now. No reframing it. No controlling how it looked. It was exactly what it was. Linda stared at it for a moment longer than she should have. Then she turned back to me. Her expression had changed again. Not confident. Not defensive. Something else. You knew this would happen, she said quietly. It was not an accusation. Not really. More like a realization. I did not answer right away. I let the silence return. Let it stretch just enough. Because she was close now. Closer than she had been since this started. And then I said the one thing that shifted everything again. I knew you would push it, I said, and my voice stayed calm, steady, like this had already been decided long before this morning. Linda did not move. Not a step. Not a shift. She just held my gaze, trying to measure what that meant. The taller man glanced at me again, sharper this time. Not surprised. Just confirming. The second man stayed quiet, but his posture changed slightly, like he was bracing for what came next. The neighbors leaned in again. The silence pulled tighter. Linda's voice came out lower now. Push what? She asked. Not aggressive. Not confident. Careful. I let a second pass. Then another. No rush. Authority, I said. One word. It landed clean. Her eyes flickered. That hit something. You issue notices without final county verification, I continued. You escalated to demolition without clearance. Each sentence stood on its own. No overlap. No escape. The taller man folded his arms, listening. The second man reached for his notebook again but did not open it yet. Waiting. Linda shook her head once, small but firm. We followed procedure, she said, but the certainty was gone. It sounded like repetition now. Not belief. I nodded slightly. Your procedure, I said. Not the law. That difference settled across the driveway like weight. You could feel it. The neighbors felt it. Linda felt it most. She looked down at her clipboard for the first time since this started. Really looked at it. The pages. The notes. The signatures. Then she looked back up at me. Slower. Heavier. You set this up, she said quietly. Again, not an accusation. A realization forming in real time. I did not smile. I did not react. I filed everything by the book, I said. You chose to ignore the update. The second man finally opened his notebook again. This time he started writing. Longer strokes. More detail. The kind that does not get erased. Linda noticed that immediately. Her breath caught, just slightly. "We were not notified," she said, but now she was reaching. Grasping. The taller man shook his head once. "Notice was issued through county records," he said. "Standard protocol." Linda's shoulders dropped another inch. That was the second break. Smaller than the first. But deeper. She looked past me for a second, toward the street, like she was searching for something familiar. Something stable. But the neighbors were not with her anymore. They were watching. Quiet. Waiting. The story had already shifted. And she knew it. I took one step closer. Just enough to close the gap again. "You moved too fast," I said. "You assumed jurisdiction." Each word landed slower now. More deliberate. Linda swallowed. Visible this time. No hiding it. "And now?" she asked. The question came out almost instinctively. Like she needed to hear it from me. Not from them. Not from the system. From me. I held her gaze. Steady. Unmoving. "Now it is documented," I said. The second man's pen stopped for a second, then continued. That sound carried. Light. Final. The taller man stepped slightly forward, positioning himself just off Linda's shoulder. Not blocking her. Not guiding her. Just there. "And documentation leads to review," he added calmly. Linda closed her eyes for half a second. Then opened them again. Something had shifted completely now. No more control. No more framing. Just consequence. She looked at the garage again. The broken edge. The open space. The damage she ordered. Then back at me. Slower this time. "Careful. You are not just a homeowner, are you?" she asked. And this time, she already knew the answer. She held my gaze when she asked it, but the answer was already written across her face. I did not rush it. I let the moment sit there, stretched thin between what she thought she knew and what she was starting to understand. The street stayed quiet. Even the wind seemed to slow down. "No," I said finally, calm, steady. "I am not." That was all. No title. No explanation. But it was enough. The taller man shifted slightly beside her, just enough to change the angle of the moment. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small badge wallet. He opened it halfway, angled it toward Linda. Not dramatic. Not forceful. Just clear. Her eyes dropped to it. And stayed there. The color in her face changed. Not all at once. Slowly. Like something draining out instead of being taken. The second man stepped closer, holding the folder again, this time placing it gently on the hood of the parked county vehicle. He flipped it open to the signature page. No rush. No pressure. Just facts laid out where everyone could see them. The county seal. The approval stamp. The signature. Mine. Linda did not look at me right away. She kept staring at the page. Reading it again. Then again. As if the words might change if she gave them enough time. They did not. The taller man closed his badge wallet with a soft click. "Head of county zoning," he said, not loud, but clear enough for the entire street to hear. The words moved through the crowd like a quiet wave. No gasps. No noise. Just a shift. A complete shift. Linda looked up then. Slowly. Her eyes found mine again, but this time there was nothing left to measure. No calculation. No control. Just realization. "You signed it," she said, barely above a whisper. I nodded once. That was all it took. The second man tapped the open page lightly with his pen, which means the authorization came directly from county authority, he said, and cannot be overridden by HOA action. Linda's fingers loosened completely. The clipboard slipped slightly in her grip, the papers inside shifting out of place. She did not fix them. She did not even notice. Her focus stayed on me. The neighbors were not filming anymore. They were just watching. Quiet. Still. The story had ended for them. The outcome was already clear. The taller man stepped forward just enough to stand beside the open folder. Given the circumstances, he said, this demolition will be formally reviewed under county violation protocol. Linda closed her eyes for a brief second, then opened them again. Slower this time. He continued, all actions taken this morning will be documented as unauthorized under jurisdictional law. The words landed clean. Final. No room left to adjust them. No way to soften them. Linda exhaled, long and unsteady. Not dramatic. Just real. She looked back at the garage one more time. The damage. The open frame. The work that had been standing an hour ago. Then back at me. We thought. She started, then stopped. There was nothing left to say. I did not interrupt. I did not add anything. There was no need. The second man closed the folder slowly, the sound echoing just enough to mark the end of it. The taller man nodded once, satisfied. Everything that needed to be seen had been seen. Everything that needed to be recorded had been recorded. Linda stood there, still holding the clipboard, but it no longer meant anything. The authority she thought she had was gone. Not taken. Revealed as never real in the first place. The morning air felt different now. Lighter. Clear. I turned slightly, looking at the edge of the garage where the damage had stopped. Clean lines. Sharp contrast between what was broken and what still stood. It would be rebuilt. Properly. Officially. Without question. Behind me, I heard Linda shift her weight, just a small movement, but it carried everything that had changed. And for the first time since she stepped onto my driveway, she did not say another word.